Hello watch enthusiasts. Today I'd like to present you a small history of the Panerai watch. So Panerai are a company founded in Florence in 1860, and they've been known for producing watches for the Italian Navy and divers ever since, and have become really a household name in the diving watch community. In 1916, Panerai they patented one of the very first luminescent technologies, Radio Mir. So this is a radium-based paste which they produced, which could be applied to dials in order to make them glow in the dark. Now if Panerai is known for anything, they're known for their luminescent dials, and this really was the very beginning, the very birth of this. The first designs for the Radio Mir line of watches came in 1936 with this California-style dial wristwatch. So it had wire lugs, as you can see on either side, and this cushion case, which was very modern, very different for the time. It also came with that quite interesting style dial with both Roman numerals and Arabic numerals. You can also notice that the crown isn't protected, as this really was the very beginning of the dive watch. In 1940, the Navy asked Panerai to redesign their Radio Mir in order to be more useful underwater. So, because these watches spent a very large amount of time underwater and were very important instruments for the divers that used them, they needed to be sturdy, and those wire lugs simply weren't up to the job. Equally, the crown was inappropriate for these uses, because it jutted out and was susceptible to being broken or hit against equipment. So this was replaced with a smaller, more flat crown. The lugs were replaced with these solid lugs, which meant that there was no chance of the watch coming off its strap. The next large technological breakthrough that Panerai went through was the invention of Luminol. This was the replacement for Radio Mir. So whereas Radio Mir was made with, no prizes here for guessing, radium, Luminol was produced with tritium, a hydrogen isotope. This technology led to greater luminosity and better endurance for the lighting. The first watch to incorporate this technology was the Panerai Luminal, named like the Radio Mir after its luminescent substance. So this watch boasted one new design feature which has shaped Panerai forever. This is their crown system. So as you can see on the left-hand side of that case, there is a lever at the very top which flicks out to allow you to access the crown. Now this means that the crown can't be damaged underwater, and so that prevents the leakage of the watch when submerged. Panerai also produce a modern version of the Panerai 1940 Radio Mir, which is a reproduction of the redesign made by Panerai for the Navy. I'm not too keen on any of these watches actually, because I find they look too simple, and I do like the crown and the lugs on the original Radio Mir, so I'm personally not too keen on these. Now, in terms of current models, Panerai do produce the Luminol and Radio Mir ranges. So in the Radio Mir range, we have the California dial, as well as a variety of other simple dials. There are also GMT versions, and a variety of complications, but I personally would stick with the Black Seal ones and the California dial ones, because they just look more original and more typically Panerai. Also, the range for the Radio Mir 1940 is a bit limited. There aren't as many style options as there are for the standard Radio Mir. The standard Luminol is a slightly smaller watch than the 1950, bearing in mind that it goes from 40 to 44, whereas the 1950 can be quite a lot larger than that. Equally, this sticks to a more simple, more classic design, whereas the 1950 does have some more outlandish versions. There are two versions of the Luminol, the first being the 1940, which has a slightly different case design to the standard one, and these are nice. They do have that typical crown guard, as well as the classic dial design. The most outlandish of all the Luminol 1950s is the Submersible. Now this is Panerai's hardcore diver, so a 300-meter resistant watch, fully brushed, with a rotating dive bezel, and the typical lug protection system. This is also one of the few automatic watches in their range, because the winding the crown could allow moisture in. Now overall, I feel these Panerais really are really attractive watches that can be worn both in a sports context as well as at a dinner party, for example, and they always are able to bring up an interesting conversation. Anyway, to finish off this video, I thought it appropriate to put up a picture of an Italian submarine of the era of the Radio Mir. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to get more content, and thank you very much. This is I'm on the Watch Guy, over and out.